You are welcome to the African Leadership Conversation, where we bring you relevant information about leadership on the continent. Our core mandate here is to bring you the answers to the hows, the whys, the whats, and the whens of leadership in Africa. So today's discourse delves into the realm of youth leadership in Africa, where we'll be exploring the various avenues through which young individuals have been reshaping their communities, advocating for change, and steering the continent into a brighter tomorrow. And I have two young leaders here. Two young youth leaders here with me, and I'm very excited because these are people I would describe as home people. We've known them for a while now. They just finished our module, the 3-year module here at the Grace Life Leadership Center, and they are newest affiliate leaders. So I have here Michael and then Napare. Gentlemen, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
I could recall that I put a call through, and then I was trying to find out where you were, and one person was on a motorbike. Tell me your experience now, Parry.
I think getting here, the traffic in town was very hectic, so I had to improvise as soon as I could.
Yes.
I got on a motorbike.
Yes, and I
motorbikes are interesting for me as compared to Uber. It's risky, but I always like it because I'm able to cut through the traffic.
Exactly, because I realized you wanted to beat time. So
I really beat time. So I didn't want to.
But anyways, is that right? Are motors supposed to cut through traffics, or
no?
We are talking about traffics in terms of maybe not the traffic lights, but
lights. You see, like the cars are moving slow, but then the motorbike doesn't move.
Yeah,
so
it can pass through, and
that kind of traffic.
Yeah. So Michael, how was yours? Did you have to get on a train or yours?
Oh, I just came by normal public transport.
Okay, so nothing interesting happened.
No, initially I wanted to come by these rides, but I realized I left early, so calculating I can go by the normal transport and get here. So
doing some calculations. But I can tell you they got here on time. So and it makes us proud to have leaders who have truly imbibed the Grace Life leadership values, especially as regards to time. Okay, so Napari is a host like myself. He's the host of Love and Philosophy on YouTube, and he's also the producer of Hello Students. And he recently joined Lead for Ghana. Amazing. You tell me something about it later. Michael, on the other hand, is a researcher, and he's the founder and the brain behind the Brainy Leadership team. An amazing team of young leaders. You are doing well. We'll also pick up a conversation on that.
Thank you.
So today, as I said, we are looking at youth leadership in Africa. So I'll start with you, Michael. Yeah. Tell me, when it comes to youth leadership in Africa, how do you think the African nations or even organizations, how can they rope the youth in leadership roles, and what have worked over the past?
Let me start with what I've worked over the past so that I can leverage on this to talk about how we can also work around it. So I think that over the past, I can recall about 2 or 3 things that I know, initiatives that I know have been successful. One is the African Youth Leadership Initiative. It was initiated by US to help African leaders. It's amazing how the US is initiating African leadership programs for us.
Totally.
Yeah, and we have the YEN, I think the Youth Employment Network also.
Okay.
That also has been very, very interactive, and a few leadership development programs sessions here and there. I think that looking through those programs have been successful, and it has one way or the other impacted the life of the young ones.
Would you
Yeah.
count the program we do here at TJLC as one?
Yes, very, very,
Okay,
very
then you
effective.
almost left it.
Yes, I think yes, it will fall under the leadership development programs because
Okay.
myself, I'm a beneficiary, so
All right.
I know that it's one of the top trainings we have. But going forward, I think that what we can do is to include the youth in policies.
All right.
Sometimes you go to you look at the set of ministers of a country. You look even when we pick Ghana, for example, hardly will you find a youth there. It's all 40 years, 50 years.
Tell me that
Yeah.
again.
And sometimes it's amazing how you can even watch their sessions and they'll mention somebody's name and the person is absent. Yeah, the person is not present there, you know. Yeah, so
And
I
if it's
think
there,
that
sometimes it's dozing off.
yes, yeah, I mean you can see some of these videos around. Yes, I
Yeah.
think that if they begin to engage the youth in because engaging the youth for some few years now, I think that the youth have a lot in them. Like they can really pull out a lot to help the development. However, it looks like they don't have the grounds to do that. So if they try and involve them into policy making and all of that, I think it will be good. Also, I think that we can also use mentorship as a way to get them on board.
Okay.
So, one of the greatest leaders I know, um, Dr. Miles Monroe of blessed memory, once said that you are truly not a successful leader if you are not able to pass your baton well to others. So I
Okay.
believe that as our current leaders are about to leave, or if you know you're a leader, you're about to leave, one of the things you can do to get the youth also on board, mentor some group of people so that they can also sweep into the affairs of the country or of the community. So those are my opinions on that.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. Napari, you are around the youth. You are all about the youth. All your programs breathe youth. So tell me, what do you think?
I share same thoughts with Michael, but for me, what I specifically want to first of all address is, you see, now in recent times, whenever we talk of youth, everybody thinks of youth leadership, but in all honesty, we're all
Yes.
leaders.
Yes.
Yeah.
In all honesty, we don't have to tag youth as youth leadership because then we cut out some people who are not genuinely interested in positional leadership, and that is one of the problems we are having.
Yes.
Right. And so to answer the question directly, for me, the two institutions that have been very, very, like, how do I even say it? That
Effective.
have been like showing track record of playing an active role in youth advocacy. For me, on top of my list is the Grace Life Leadership Center.
Okay.
Everywhere I go, I try to say it. I try to say it's not because I'm part of it,
All
but
right.
because of what it did for me as a person as well.
Okay.
And then my second institution will be Lead for Ghana, of which I recently joined. And so for me, I remember way back in level 200 when we were in lockdown. So we were mostly home. Everybody was mostly on the internet and all of that. And for me, I don't know, some way, somehow, I just wanted to develop myself. So I
Okay.
was on LinkedIn scrolling, and then I saw the Great Life Leadership ad on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And then I asked myself, let me join. So
Okay.
initially, on top of my head, I was joining because I was home, not doing anything. I didn't have any vision for my life. No,
Okay.
literally, I was just going by the wind. And so I wanted something that could keep me active and then something that could reshape my mind. And that was one thing that caught me when I saw reshaping lives and beliefs. I was like, wow. But then I thought, hey, Great Life Leadership Center, this could be like church.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah, even if it's church and I can take away the church and still benefit from whatever they are teaching, that would be for me.
All right.
Shortly afterwards, I saw Lead for Ghana. So I found both organizations in the same year.
Okay.
But for Lead for Ghana, I couldn't join because I had to graduate before I could
okay.
be eligible to join Lead for Ghana. And then I said, okay, then let me give Grace Life Leadership the shot. And for me, the reason why I joined again was because in level 100, I went to SRC General Assembly setting, and then there was a budget in front of us. And I think we were about to do SRC week celebration or something. And then so we're perusing it, and I was just doing The reason for the was because I saw so many things on the budget list that we could easily outsource.
Yes.
But these are on the budget. So I tapped one colleague of mine and I asked him, but this things we can, and said, what level are you in? I said level 100. And said, that's why. And I said, what does this guy mean by that's why? Then he told me, oh, this one there is better than last year's own.
Wow.
And I said, wow. So that's how things are going here. Initially, on top of my mind, I wanted to be a leader on campus.
Okay.
But then I saw that, this is the kind of culture that exists among them. Then, I can't be here. Okay. So my other alternative was Grace Life Leadership Center, so that I could still build the leadership skills I wanted to build. And truth be told, 3 years down the line, I'm a different person from I was 3 years ago. So for me, if there are any two institutions that have really are the real game changers, is the Grace Life Leadership and Lead for Ghana.
Okay.
Lead for Ghana because I've seen the track record of what they are doing. And for them, the whole idea is for them to put people into a leadership position in the classroom so that they can get an idea of how inequality exists in other communities, and then hopefully they can also impact other institutions as well. So yeah, for me, that could be my answer. Very lengthy, but I hope it's worth it.
Yes. So I believe if someone is supposed to ask you what your vision is now, you would have a lot of answers. It would be different from how you felt in your room 3 years ago.
Yeah, honestly. Like 3 years ago, if you asked me what my vision was, I remember very clearly. I just wanted to be rich. That was it. For me, that was it, because I wanted money. Like, that's it. But now it's no more about money. Well, I need money, but at my current age, it's not about money. It's about development, because I know once I'm developed well, the money will follow afterwards.
Okay. So while we hail young people, we hail them and encourage them to get into youth leadership, there are certain challenges that they are likely to face. So what are some of these challenges and how can they overcome them?
Yeah, for me, I think the challenges is the first and biggest is ageism, where we have the people who are older than us are not giving regard to young people because they feel like knowledge is synonymous with growth. So the more I'm older, the more I'm more knowledgeable.
Yes.
But that is not the case. Things are moving very fast in our contemporary times. And so for me, the biggest challenge is ageism.
Okay.
Where people, if you go anywhere and then you tell them that, I want to share a story.
Yeah, go ahead.
For me, the reason why I have my beard is because I remember before I went to university, I used to sell insurance.
Okay.
So during one of my insurance sales, I met this man, and then you see, as an insurance broker, you're supposed to convince people to buy insurance.
Exactly.
So I was convincing this man who is way older than me. So even that, like you just small, but you don't have any beard. And they are trying to show me how to manage my finances. And I was like, oh, okay. So the way I can get is to get beard.
Yeah.
Fine, we'll get the beard as well. So of course, these are some of the challenges we face. People who are in people who have opportunities, people who have the resources to support us, the youth especially, are thinking that we are not grown enough to manage these kind of resources when given to us. And then the second would be the influence of I'm being particular with my words because I don't want to say the influence of political parties in youth leadership. But that is the biggest challenge I see today. Because, I've always said, and I'll keep saying, youth leadership now has become MPP NDC.
They want to catch them young.
Yeah, they have literally catch them already. And now the whole thing looks like the youth who are genuinely interested in leadership can no longer pursue it, except they join NDC MPP.
Okay.
And that is one of the biggest obstacles, because for me, I don't see a reason I should join MPP NDC. But of course, I still want to be a leader.
Yes.
But unfortunately for me, I can't do anything. Then it means that sit in your room, sit in your small corner, and take care of these small people that still you have access to. But then the larger opportunities are given to MPP NDC. And we see it in the youth, the youth agencies that are being led. They are not led based on pure leadership portfolio. They are led just because this youth person belongs to our political party. So we bring that person up to say, oh, we are supporting youth advocacy. But in reality, that is not youth advocacy. That is you pushing your own agenda and under a general theme of youth leadership. So for me, those are the two biggest things: ageism and then the influence of political parties on youth-led initiatives as well. Because then they now want to catch the whole phrase as well.
Okay, so what do you think are some of the ways we can overcome those challenges?
Balancing the scope. And I think that is what TGLC is doing. We need to balance it. Like, honestly, if you come to the university, of which, like I say, my research work should be centered around the university.
Okay.
It's very hectic. It's sad that when you get to campus, University of Ghana, UPSA, Valley View, KNUST, and then you want SRC president, you can't be it and except you are an MPP NDC.
Okay.
People are genuinely interested in leadership, but they can't be it because when you get there, the whole thing they'll ask you first, political, who are your funders? Which political party do you belong to? And we keep complaining about them that these are the problems we are facing, but we are growing up. We need to balance the scope, and so we need institutions because unfortunately for us, we can't do anything about it. MPP NDC are still on the rise. They are still capturing the youth. Like they are still spreading their nets far and wide. So what we need to do is to balance the scope, and that is what TGLC is doing. Like I'm not running an ad for TGLC. I'm literally speaking from a place of pain and hurt because I feel like if we don't do these things, we are heading towards doom. We don't balance the scope now. Unfortunately for us, 50 years to come, people will still be voting on political allegiance. And that shouldn't be the case. You should be voting on developmental allegiance, not necessarily like political allegiance. So we need more institutions that will balance the scope. Forget the fact that I'm NDC or MPP. That's not the point. The whole point is we need people who can independently make assertions and lead policies that are going to be for the benefit of the youth as well.
I like what you said about the ageism because you would be surprised that it transcends even beyond Africa. I watched a video, I would prefer not to mention the country, but then a lady was asked, she was outside in one of the Asian countries, and she was a foreigner. She was a foreigner there. Schooling, and she was asked if she would want to get a job there after school, and she said no, because she realized that there was something about the companies they look down on young people, where they don't really accept what you bring to the table unless, like, I mean, you are a bit old, and that's when they are more open to accept your values. And I was really, really shocked. So I think that ageism thing is something that needs to be looked at. Michael, what do you think?
I agree with him. I just want to come in a little bit with what he was speaking about. If you are not in NDC or NPP, it looks like you are out of the way.
Before that, let's clarify. So NDC, NPP are two major political parties here in Ghana. This is for our listeners who may not be Ghanaians. So
yeah, exactly. So that's the truth of the matter. That's what's going on now. Yet I believe that as part of the solutions to what he mentioned, one thing we can come to the realization as individuals is that I may not be a part of NPP, I may not be a part of NDC or any political party. However, even if I don't get a political portfolio, or even if I won't get into position because of these political hindrances and the mess they carry, I will do in my own way what I normally call self-leadership. What I can do to support my cause or the country. So that's one of the solutions I'll add up to what he said. And with the obstacles, I also identified about...
Are you able to go a little bit specific with what you can do, like in your own way, using yourself as an example?
So for example, you become a minister for a particular constituency or a particular region, and you know that your region has about 10 villages. Out of the 10, only one has access to light and water. And so one of the projects you should pick on as a minister is to make sure that by the time you leave 4 years, taking salary every month for 4 years, if government will not even provide, you pick some and then do it. But they won't do it. They rather do campaigning, and like he said, they'll pay young guys to do. Just recently, they did some delegates voting for MPP, and it was funny. I saw a video around. One guy was wearing the dress of one of the aspirants, and he took it off, and he was wearing another one inside. In other words, he has gone here to take something, he has gone here to
Yes.
take something. So whichever one wins, I'm in. That is a wrong mindset. So if I'm the one, I'm not interested in this. Do I have some funds somewhere? Can I work hard and support these communities? I won't be a minister, but this
Okay.
is what I'll do to support. So
All
that's
right.
what I think practically can be done.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Can I add a little
yes.
Yeah, you
to
can
what
Please.
come in.
Michael is saying?
Yeah.
So, like, I also think I share the same faith with Michael because I think if we collaborate as youth,
Yeah.
we'll do
Yes.
so many than even
Yeah.
these political
Yeah.
parties are doing. So,
Exactly.
just like the self leadership, you are in a constituency or you are in your own town,
Yeah.
and then you have an opportunity to come
Yeah.
to the university.
Yeah.
Now you're in the University of Ghana. At least, even not for anything, you have a little bit of enlightenment.
Yeah.
What you can do is reach out to other colleagues of yours who are also
Exactly.
in the university. Oh,
Okay.
can you guys help me so we go back to my village or my constituency
Yeah.
to do this kind of education over there?
Exactly.
It's not expensive. All you need to do is speak to them, and then they get on board. You guys pick a bus, you go there, bring the people together, inform the chiefs. They will be glad to support. This is not anything that is like, I'm going to construct a road. No, no, no.
Yes.
That it seems so far fetched, especially when you make it, when we say youth leadership. Now
Yes.
people think, oh, then I have to build something. No, it's just a little bit. Once you are able to do that kind of education, right, it will shock you what that education could do for someone in that community that could now come out and build a road. You didn't build a road, but you
Yes.
initiated that thing to do. So yeah, just an addition
That's very good.
to
I'm
Michael.
even a beneficiary of that because when I was in JHS, every year when we're about to write BEC, we have some of our alumni coming around to tell us about schools and about how they find their various schools. And it was encouraging. It affected like the decision. People were able to choose certain schools and
Yeah.
certain schools not to go to. So I like that. Michael, you were
Yeah. I think I'll mention about three of the factors, maybe not
okay.
to explain so much,
All
but
right.
one is I think lack of experience. Like Napari shared his story. They think he's not having beard. So I think one of the obstacles for the youth now is lack of experience. The other thing is limited resources. On a real, even though we are very eager and desperate to solve some of this problem, if the resources are not available, it won't be there. Also, I think some perceptions, especially within the youth and particularly in Africa, there is this perception that goes on. Like if you're a young person from Africa, you are dumb. Like you don't know anything. You don't.
Okay.
So the children or the youth are growing up with that mindset. Okay, let me just work and get some. After all, I can't really do anything in this world. I won't be
Yes.
accepted anyway.
Yes.
So I think that those are some obstacles that have to be dealt with. For the issue of the resources, um, if you are an organization, obviously we are pleading with the government. But if you are an organization and like Grace Life is doing, I started the Brainy Leadership team before I joined Grace Life. Grace Life took me, trained me, nurtured me, helped me. Now I can boldly say that the Brainy Leadership team is standing very well and can do a lot of things. So these are some resources that can be provided for young people who are venturing into youth leadership so that they can be effective in their delivery. With the issue of experience, that is where mentorship comes in.
Yes.
Yes. So like once again, I think what is happening now, and it's sad, is that a youth knows somebody in higher authority. They will try and either pay something so that the person puts them there. They will try and, or the person will just pick them because they know them as their cousin or something and puts them there. No training, no mentorship. So what happens is that they get there, whatever culture is being done, they also follow.
Okay.
The founder of TGLC told me something some time ago, how people came to him and wanted to be mentored by him. They said, "Oh, we want us to be our father," that kind of thing. And he told them that if you've not gone through a particular training, especially how Grace Life is doing, I can't boldly call you a mentee.
Okay.
So mentorship goes beyond just knowing somebody is older than you,
Okay.
but rather submitting to all the necessities that goes into you becoming an effective person. So that's what I think. And then lastly, education on these perceptions to help change the mindsets. Hello Student is into some of them. You watch their series and realize that they are addressing issues that if you're a student and you pay attention to, your mind is reorienting and you are getting to yourself. So engaging in things that will change the mindset of the youth, I think will also be a way to prevent these obstacles in the quest for our youth to grow in their leadership
Okay,
journey.
amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. So, gentlemen, I will throw it to the two of you again. How can we use the power of technology and digital and innovation to like tell the story about what the youth are doing, and then to also support youth entrepreneurship? I think Nafari, you are ready to go for this. You've been
Yeah,
utilizing it very
yes,
well.
yeah. Like I don't know, but recently I just realized that Charlie, if you are going to sit down and say, as for you, dear, you are still traditional and things, you fade out so quickly.
Yeah.
Like I think that technology has become so fast paced that, like today as we are talking, like something new is out, and that
Yes.
something new that is out, people are going to use it, and no matter
Exactly.
what they are going to do, young men and women are going to listen to them and watch them and do everything. And even before I make my points, I want to share a story again.
Okay.
And this story I want to share is, assuming you have a daughter,
All right.
right? And your daughter is diabetic. She likes a lot of sugar, right? And so she's always consuming sugar. And you want her to stop taking sugar, but she's addicted to the sugar. What do? You take her to rehab. When you take her to rehab, what do? They try to disassociate her from the sugar,
Yes.
right? Now, we are in Africa. We speak a lot about the leadership crisis we are having. And we, unfortunately for us, we try to target to the grown-ups,
Okay.
which is fine. But now the people who have the platform, like social media platform, are still feeding us sugar. Like they are still feeding us the same problems that we have. And for me, I find it very disheartening. Like recently, we saw what Mr. Beast is doing, like the
Yes.
YouTuber who came to Africa
Yeah,
and
Mr.
constructed
Beast.
100 walls for us.
Yes.
Now, two ways to look at it. Someone looks at it and says that he's trying to project Africa as being we don't have resources and all. But I don't think that's the point.
Yes.
I have been able to build a certain level of wealth, and I'm coming back to give back to a community. It just looks as the way you are telling the story and how you are saying it.
Yes.
Unfortunately for us, the bloggers are running it around. And one of the ways that we are using technology in Africa is through blogging. Like you wake up every day and there is a new blogger. And now
Yes.
every new blogger wants to say that the way he or she can cut into the market is to trend in, like, write about trending issues,
Yeah.
write about the negative things that people are doing.
Yes.
But we are far gone to still be focusing on gossips. Like for instance, Shatawale is doing something on his Instagram or his Snapchat. It's not my issue. Of
Okay.
course, if I want celebrity gossip, I would go to celebrity gossip blog
Yes.
websites to look at all those issues. But for me, I say I'm a blogger. And that is the kind of information I'm looking out for. But then the good things he does, nobody is able to blog them as well. So for me, I think one of the ways we are using technology in contemporary days is through blogging. And
Yes.
unfortunately for us, like the big men and women in the blogging space for me, I think that they are doing well, but they can do better than they are doing, because if they are not orienting us to know that the right way of blogging is not to feed on negative issues, then the new bloggers coming, because that's what everybody is doing. You go to Instagram and every day there is a new blog, and they are just, I don't know if it's deliberate attempt to make people look bad, but that
Okay.
is not a right way to even push the agenda of a united front of a country that is suffering, and we are eagerly in need of resources and these kind of opportunities, like leadership opportunities. So for me, I think one of the ways we can use technology is through blogging. The
Yes.
second way is software development. Like I said, for me, 1 year ago, I used to come to TJLC at the mercies of Albert. Albert is one of the media guys here at TJLC. And Albert, please, can you record this? Can you edit this for me? And for me, I felt like I got to realize that, oh no, like the reason why Albert is not able to push is because there is a lot of work on him.
Yes.
Honestly, if you are not there with him and he's doing this, then the next time he has to do this and all of that. Then I said, okay, let me learn. Oh, today, after this recording, I can decide I'll edit this video and I'll do it
Wow.
well. And it's not because like I went through any traditional media, but just because I went to YouTube and then I searched. If I don't understand anything, I'll call
I'll
Albert.
call him.
You see, so those are the ways that technology can be used beneficially. Like I spend a lot of time on social media, and for me now, I'm realizing that hey, we are just consuming. What are you also giving? That
Yes.
should be the idea. Like you are always there consuming what other bloggers are. But you yourself, what are you contributing to the digital space? And the moment we start doing that, of course, at the beginning, it will be difficult. But along the line, we will get better. We will get better. And once we get better, now technology will be in our favor. Right? So bringing it whole back to my sugar story, we
Yes.
are in problem. We are in crisis, leadership crisis, right? And if you have a platform that has a very large following, you are a leader, whether you like
Yes.
it or not. Whether you like it or not, someone will look at your page and take something out of it. If you consistently feed those people with sugary things, things that are going to fuel the problems that we are having in Africa, of course, we can't expect anything differently. And to end the whole conversation, we don't become good leaders by speaking about good leadership. We really become good leaders by embodying leadership as well. So yeah, use technology for the right things.
Yes. Amazing. Amazing. Very practical.
Yeah.
Michael.
Yeah, I think I'll also add to what Napari said with the blogging issue and all. Personally, I'm not so much a fan of social media, and
Okay.
so some of the things I honestly don't even have time for them. But I think that is a problem because most of the youth, like he said, I want to make money. Okay, I've heard that now you can be doing these things. When you get a lot of views or followers, then you start making some money. So then anything unnecessary, in quotes, not relating to life, like nothing adding value to people. So I think that one of the ways they can do that is all the digital platforms we have should be channeled to feeding value-based information.
Okay.
Value, because now it's like a global village in the world. I can be here, know what's going on somewhere, have a meeting with somebody somewhere. So information, like he said, you went to YouTube, learn how to do this. I wanted to learn a particular language. I inquired about a class. They gave me a particular amount. I said no. I went to YouTube. There were lessons, learned it. I'm not a pro, but I can speak with anybody who speaks that language.
Okay.
Right? So information are there. They should
Just by
use
the what languages that you have to say one before you leave. What languages am I?
French.
Wow, you need to speak some French before you leave
I'm
here.
actually also going into Spanish anyways, yes, because
Okay.
we are living in a global village. Anytime you go and meet somebody speaking French, you can't speak and you are lost.
Yeah, but you
I
see,
can
the
even
nice
go
thing
in the
about
office.
technology is that now technology, like as I'm speaking now, I'm speaking in English. You can
Yes.
use AI to
To
translate
translate,
exactly my
exactly.
voice, everything in French, in
Wow.
Spanish.
Yeah.
These
Wow.
are what people are doing with
Yeah.
technology out there. But we, what are we doing? We're
Yes,
on TikTok.
and yes,
Doing
that's the
what?
problem. African leadership, like that's the problem. The youths, even though we're advocating, they should also come to themselves and know that these are not the real things on the ground. Somebody singing and falling into water or somebody doing this, they are all not solving problems when you put it on your platform. But information that will feed us, I'm sure the reason why I don't like social media is because of these things. I'm sure if there were good stuff, I'll be addicted to it because I'm always
Okay.
pursuing value.
Yes.
Like if I come to you and you don't have anything to say, then it's like there is no use. The last thing is to add cybersecurity and data protection. That one is particularly for young entrepreneurs, so that in their quest to build their own businesses and things, they are able to protect whatever they are doing very well. I think it's one of the things that is evolving, and now it's easy to get into the cybersecurity space. So I think that we can also use technology as a way to protect our businesses, especially for young leaders coming up.
Okay, so I'm going to throw a question at the
Yeah.
both of you because of what Michael you said about the kind of content that's out there.
Yeah.
So people give an excuse that for instance, I go to TikTok because I've worked the whole day. I want to release stress. I want something funny. Do they have an excuse at all?
Yeah, like I think the whole point of social media for me, in my point of view, is not just for productivity. It's
Okay.
like exactly like to release stress. You have gone through a hectic day and you have come back home. So you want to watch some funny clips. You go to TikTok, you go to YouTube, you get them, you watch them. That's not the point. But the
Okay.
point is, for instance, you're at workplace, you're in your office. time to work and you want to release stress whilst you're
Exactly.
at the work.
Yes.
That's where the problem is. And
Yes.
you see, because we have been doing it when you get home, entertainment is very catchy. That's the sugar thing I was saying. You see, because if you keep eating it, you will get sick. But when you went home, you close at 4, from 5 all the way to like 9 p.m., 10 p.m., sometimes 11 p.m. You are just watching funny clips and all of that. Of course, the urge for you to do it the next morning will still be high. But the next morning, you have work, unfortunately. Now, how to do away with the sugar is the problem here. And that is what is eating us up, because then now everybody wants to say, oh, media, like I'm not a social media person. I just go there to do. But unfortunately for you, whether you're on it or you're not on it, it's going. You see,
Yes.
unfortunately for you, whether you use social media or you don't use social media, someone is on social media and that person is publishing a fake news or fake information out there. And unfortunately for us, to someone also very clueless is taking it, and that person will go by it. And when you go in where the person will say it, I mean, when I read something somewhere,
Yes.
where did you read it? That's the point. You read it from a fake noise, but people don't have that discerning information. They won't do that as well.
I think that I share a totally different view with Napare on this.
Okay.
And I
Why?
think that's where it becomes interesting when we have
Yeah.
the different views of this whole social media thing. Sometimes in the quest of we thinking that, oh, I'm watching to release stress, we know psychology will tell you that what you watch, what you hear, they are what forms you.
Okay.
So I know people who are like, I always want to release stress. They will be watching cartoons and funny stuff
Anime.
like that.
Anime.
Tomorrow you see them behaving like that.
Okay.
Like you are talking to them and they are behaving. It's like what they are watching has entered them.
Yeah,
I think that I think that if you want to release stress, that's why you must build good relationship with people around you. You have family. If you are married, you have a family. If you are not, you have friends. What's more entertaining than engaging these lively human beings around you than going to watch somebody's funny things that will even influence you negatively at the end of the day?
Well, yeah. That's where the
think to
diversity
answer,
comes in.
Yeah.
You see, there's something I saw on TikTok. There's this Nigerian lady that acts like a Jarvis robot. I don't know if you've seen, and she's making, one day she made over $2,000 like online
Look at
with
that.
people streaming watching her act like a robot.
Yes. In fact, one time, I was on Instagram. I was uploading something for the brain leadership team. So I was on Instagram and I saw a video. I wouldn't even like to talk about what was going on in the video. I think it was live. And I was amazed the number of people watching that thing live going on. I was amazed. And I was like, wow. If there should have been a leadership program that day at the same time, you see only 2 people viewing it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So I think that we are hyping. I think that thing, all work and no play, makes that it's now becoming the. I think that you should only even have fun when work is done. When you are not done with your work, you want to go and play. Like he said, the next day you have work to do. They will play, and this is to all of us as youth. If you are watching this show and you are a youth, I think that it's now, in as much as we are advocating for all resources and things, we should also be responsible to some extent, so that we can take up the task and then become better. That's the little.
Okay, so Napare, you produce a lot of content. Is it that the kind of educational content don't appeal to the masses, or how should it be done so that they find it attractive?
It's very funny, and I think that, you see, the way social media, the way it's structured, is not for productivity per se, but it's just that some content creators are trying to make it productivity. The whole point of a social media is to get you on the social media so that they can be able to say, okay, we have this number of people on our platform, so bring us money, we'll show your video or your ad to these people. And you can only do that through entertainment. That's the sad truth. So no matter how productive your show or program is, if it's not, it doesn't have a little bit of entertainment in it, your views will be down, because people are not there to learn. They are there to have fun. It's unfortunate, but that's the point here, right? And so for me, I think that as a producer or someone who wants to produce shows, the way you beat the game is to stay inside. And like I said, if I keep giving you entertainment, you are not going to be of any good use, because there are lots of entertainment shows on YouTube, like on Instagram. If I also come and add up to it, I'm also feeding you the sugar I was talking about initially. And like I said, we have been feeding people entertainment for the past 20, 30 years now. Wait, that's too far. 20, 30 years, I was just social media. But like for the past 5, 10, 15 years now, right? And the point has been that these entertainment shows we are feeding is unfortunately from the Western world who have developed to some level and now need these kind of like social events. Don't get me wrong, entertainment is very. I have a lot of entertainment. I follow a lot of comedians on my feed because whenever I go there, I want to watch something funny, so I'll laugh and then go back to whatever I'm doing. Right? It's not the point, but the point is that if we consistently keep feeding them these entertainment, it's like I said, we are heading towards the diabetes we want to devoid ourselves from, right? So for
Okay.
me, like I think content creators should do away with the algorithm mindset that they are
Okay.
trying to create content for the algorithm. Because we actually create the algorithm. If people want sugar and I don't give them sugar and I give them honey, they have no other opportunity or no other alternative than to take the honey because of course it's left with only honey. So if you
Okay.
are all buying into the whole idea of algorithm, and so if my show is not entertaining, people will not watch. So I want to create entertainment. You lose the focus of your show and of your value, right? So for me, as someone who wants to be a long-term content creator, it's one of the things that I'm very conscious about. Yes, I get it. You want to watch entertainment, but unfortunately for me, I can't give you the entertainment you want. So you go somewhere and watch entertainment. When you are done, come back here for the value that I want to place in you. Because as Africans, we need the value, and
Yes.
without these values, we are not going to do anything. Like recently, we have been hearing this whole cliche that Ghana, how can you be sad?
Mm.
All you need is
Yes,
2C
data.
data, and then you are sorted. But
Yes.
if we laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh, then what? Then we'll come back. Then the next day we'll say, "Hey, the MP
Yes.
did this." Then, but
Yes.
that's the unfortunately
Laughter
that's it.
alone won't bring
Yes, laughter
development.
alone won't bring it. It won't bring it, unfortunately, for us. So, like I said, it's a mindset, and that is how the social media algorithm has been shaped and has been oriented. So, people who are genuinely doing productive things are hard to get the viewer attention, like keep people on their page. But it's something that can be overcome. Like I said, few years back, it wasn't there, and it came. So if now it has come and there is entertainment, of course there will be a time where productivity will also take the lead. And we see people doing it, like Ali Abdul. He's doing it so
Okay.
marvelously. His channel is productivity, and he
All
has the
right.
numbers there. Not because his channel, when you go there, you laugh. You won't laugh, but it's just because he has been able to find a way that he can still make whatever it is that he's producing still be appealing to the person who is
Okay.
watching as well.
All right. So, how do we bring diversity and gender equality to youth leadership? You want to catch a breath, so I head on to Michael.
Let's have Michael first.
Okay. I think that for that, I can see a lot of improvements. Women empowerment here, women empowerment there, and all of that. And I think it should be encouraged.
Okay.
So that we are all into it. The goal is not to create a competition between men and women, as some people are having it. But the goal is to just make sure that whatever we are all contributing to society, we are doing it. Not that one person is totally committed and the other is not. Whereas everybody has the potential to do it.
Yes.
So I think that the whole issue about the empowerment programs that are going on should still be encouraged. And then what I'll add is also there should be inclusiveness in decision making and policies. It's gender, like the balanced gender. We shouldn't take decisions one-sided because naturally men have inclinations, women have inclinations. The potentials within men to some extent might be different from women. So when we include all of them, their thinking patterns and everything all together, then we are able to create a community of leaders where both women, men, gender balanced things are going on. So that's the little I can add.
Okay, before Napare comes, we are still talking about youth leadership in Africa.
Yes.
And I hope you are enjoying it because we are. For me, I'm speaking from like true experiential things I've been through, and for me, I think the way we can balance the scope, especially making it more involving. And like recently, like I said, I was looking for some software development programs to take so that I could just have a little bit of how to create websites. And unfortunately for me, all the sites I went to, female. And I was like, wow, Wow,
Wow.
wow. Well, not to say that men have been sidelined, but
Okay.
just to say that they are given opportunity for females to also be in the school. And you see, like organizations like Soronko Academy, who
Yes.
are doing it so marvelously that they are training young females to go into male-dominated spaces, right?
Yes.
And recently, we heard from the quiz mistress,
Yes.
Professor Kaufman, who was saying that when you take female engineers in Ghana who are professors, there are no more than 5 or so. And that's sad to hear because we are growing. So if we are growing, the scope should be balanced. So how we can do it is to involve them, like be deliberate about it. Even if you're a lead, you're a youth person and you want to do anything, let it be at the back of your mind that you need a female. Because now it's unfortunate for us, but we are heading towards a place where if you don't have a female in your organization, there will be no diversity in it. And not to say that like you need just a female face, because now that's how the whole scope is written. Oh,
Yes.
when you come, oh, we are gender like equal or equitable, and then
Yes.
oh, so we have a female on our board of directors. That's not the point. Like, let the voice be heard. And for me as a content creator, I think that's one of the things I've become more conscious about, right? I've become more conscious about it, that whenever I need someone to be on my show, the first thing is how can I get a female to be on this on the platform. Recently too, I saw one other organization, or it was a conference, the Africa Talk Show or something, and they were into this female empowerment thing, and it's very brilliant. And for me, like two females who are doing very well, that I want to give, if I'm permitted to give them like a free shout out, because I see the works they are putting in, not because they want to be called youth leaders, but just
Okay.
because they are passionate about what they are doing. And for me, it's Linda Akamensa. I'll
Okay.
say it every day, anywhere I go. I can vouch for Linda, not because she's my friend or I know her. I don't even know her like personally, but just because I see what she's doing and I see the vision and impact she wants to do, not because she's female, but because she sees that there is a marginalized group somewhere that needs this kind of help. I also see Gifty. Gifty is also, I think she was the former aspirant for UGA
Okay.
City Campus SRC elections and all of those things. These are people that are females who are young and they're still like deliberate about balancing the scope and finding ways and means that they can make sure that you don't have an excuse to say that I'm a female and I'm young, so I can't do it anymore.
Okay. So, how can we amplify the African youth leader to be able to take on the global stage and contribute towards global issues?
Education.
Okay.
Yeah, education. Like I want to say that we the youth are part of the problem. Because we don't want to be educated, honestly. Like if you want, set up a training program now, like Michael was saying, and you see the number of youth who will come. Very
Okay.
few. Not because but it's just because some of them have this deep, stuck mindset that education will not take me anywhere. And so because of that, they are just doing anything anyhow to survive the system. But the only way we can say, and for me, I'm a strong advocate for education, because I think if we have our education very well, all other sectors of life would be improved. Because if education is good, then of course, faith leaders would be more educated to spread the faith that they want to spread.
Okay.
Business leaders would be more uh, ethical in the decisions they take, because they will be educated and they know the kind of problems that society is facing. Right? So for me, the one thing that we can do very well is to educate, and not educate in the generic form, but educate specifically to whatever it is that we want to do. So for us in Africa, our problem is mindset. So we need to be educated on the mindset problems that we are having. And that was one of the things that I got from Grace Life Leadership Center. Again,
Yes.
before I had a very fixed mindset.
Okay.
If I can't do this, then it means it's not for me.
Okay.
But well, 2 years down the line, I said, nah, I'm too good to say that I'm stuck in just one thing. Like if
Yes.
you want to do it, you can do it, learn it, and you get through it.
Michael.
Okay. I think I'll also add about 2 or 3 key points to what Napari said. Of course, education is like the general thing, umbrella everybody should be under, because if you're not educated, you don't know what's going on. I'll also mention we putting into encouraging youth in diplomacy. So youth should be encouraged, because we are looking at a global scale. Should be encouraged to be able to represent their countries or their communities on a global scale. So Example, we have maybe something that has to be represented by a non-profit organization or something. It shouldn't be like, because I'm in Ghana, I can't partake in it or something. We should pick it up and enjoy you going in to represent who you are on a global scale. Perhaps, who might know, what you are doing is the best even on a global level. So that's one thing I would say. I'll also encourage the media to tell their stories well.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes if I have an auntie sort of in Cote d'Ivoire, and she said one time she was there and her son in the US called called her that, what's going on? They are showing some things on the TV that there is attacks and conflict in Cote d'Ivoire. And she thought, I'm in my house eating and enjoying, and you are also watching something somewhere.
Yes.
So sometimes the media, I don't know, they project what's not true.
Okay.
So the media should tell the right stories about Africa.
Okay.
Yes, we know Africa is middle income or something, but we shouldn't go out there and make it look like we eat from the crumbs somewhere. So the media should be able to tell
Project the right story.
Yes. And then the last thing I'll say is that we should also learn to partner with international bodies.
Okay.
So that we know how the frame is internationally, not always locally, but internationally. So those are the few things.
So you can act locally, but you have to think globally.
Exactly.
Okay. So your final words.
For me, Napare.
Yes, Napare.
Oh, my final words. My final words are very sad because I wanted to continue speaking, but of course I have to end it. And for me, my final words would be: we have to be deliberate. If we are not deliberate, if we fail to plan, then we are planning to fail, like sort of thing. And that's the cliche. It's not necessarily a cliche, but that's the truth, honest truth. If you are a youth and you are coming up, it's not necessarily because you want to be a youth leader. If you want to be a youth business person, that's fine. The only thing you need to do is be conscious, be educated, and go there, have it. Start small, think global.
Okay. Michael.
Well, my final words to everyone watching, especially if you're a youth, is that pick up the tax and then do it. Just do it. Like my brother here said, you don't talk about leadership, you live it. It's an action word, so you do it. So I think that if you're a youth, take up whatever potentials you have, whatever giftings you have, one way or the other, use it well, and then contribute to the growth of the society, for our country, Africa, and even the world at large.
Yeah, you're saying just do it reminded me of Nike's the concept they ran with. You said yesterday, you said tomorrow, just do it. Just do it. Yeah. Okay. I know I said final words, but I promised I said I was going to let you talk about what you do. So both of them are youth leaders, and I want them to talk about what they do through their own initiatives and the organizations that they've set up. So, Napare.
Okay, so for me, well, how do I even describe it? I'm a young person, first of all. Okay. And what I do specifically is that I run an organization, Hello Students. And for me, my vision for Hello Students is basically to create an environment or community where students can go and have access to developmental programs and developmental initiatives that are there for them. So basically, think of it as if you are a student and you are looking for where to develop yourself, Hello Students will be there for you. And just like we said, Hello Students. And basically, that's what we are doing.
And the Love and Philosophy.
Yeah, so Love and Philosophy is my own personal podcast that I try to run an intersection between love and philosophy. I read philosophy at the University of Ghana, and I continued as a teaching assistant as well. And for me, I saw what philosophy did to me as a person. And I've always said to people, no matter the level of education you have, at the end of the day, you are called a doctor of philosophy, which means at the end of the day, you still have a certain level of philosophy in life. And recently too, we are in 21st century, and love has become so difficult to find. It's like everybody who wants love is working with two minds. Everybody is trying to be very calculative with love. And so for me, what I was trying to do with love, or what I'm trying to do with love and philosophy, is trying to find the intersection. How do we live a life that is very lovely? Because of course, if without love we can't have a society. Love is a very great tool and emotion that people go by. And so yes, we need love, But of course, we need philosophy, which philosophy is basically saying what beliefs and patterns are you running with in your life. So that intersection is the reason for Love and Life Philosophy podcast.
Okay, so Napare said drop your calculators. Don't be too calculating when it comes to love, and find the intersection between love and philosophy. And Michael?
Okay, so I'm with the Brady leadership team, and we are also concerned about the social growth of our communities and all of that. Basically, our core activities we do is leadership development. So we recruit young people and help them scale up their skills, their visions, their mindsets, so that they'll be better in their fields. We also extend our influence to communities, and where we find challenges, we try in our best. If there are partnerships, we try in our best to solve them, just to make our world a better place, and also to raise responsible youth who will take up the future for us.
Okay.
Yeah, please let me give like a free testimony to
Okay.
Like I joined one of their sessions, and I think it was a game changer for me. And it was about CV, how to like have a CV. For so long, I knew how to draft a CV. But when I came for the session, I was like, hey, that's why my applications have been bouncing like that. Yeah, but honestly speaking, Team Brainy actually impacted me a lot when it comes to that. And I wanted to give a free testimony to that as well.
Thank you.
That's nice. Okay, so the final task is to play a little game we call the Never Have I, the African Leadership Conversation Edition. So, Michael and Napare. So what is your Never Have I?
In context of leadership, I think never have I seen a young person become a president of a country in Africa. The youngest I know is from Burkina Faso. He was at age 34. But if I'm using the UN definition for youth, it's 15 and 24. And I've never seen it. I'm hoping we will witness one very soon.
Okay, let's see.
That's a louder word ever have I. But for me, never have I taken advantage of a young person simply because I want to give them an opportunity.
Okay.
I think it's big. Like people do it. And it's very enticing, especially when I was a teaching assistant. Like you see the girls all over you. But of course, you have to keep her straight, Charlie. Focus. So never have I taken advantage of someone because I want to give the person an opportunity.
Would there be never will I? Never will I do that. Never will I also do that.
Never will I do that as well. Yeah, because of course I'm a leader with integrity.
Nice.
Thanks to Grace Life Leadership Center.
Nice. So my never have I never ever witnessed, thought I would witness a time where there'll be a lot of youth interested in the affairs of a country, so much protest. I did not foresee a time. And I'm hoping that it gets better.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about youth leadership in Africa, and this has been the African Leadership Conversation. Do well to still stay with us. Subscribe, like, reshare. Tell a youth to also watch if you liked it, and stay tuned for our next episode. Thank you.